All right, let's jump into it. Where are we at? 10:53. So just before we start to get probably a little bit of volume in for metals at least. Just on Asia Open, 17th of May. So start off with DXY because obviously, look, this is the big driver of everything at the moment. We've been having a pretty sort of like crashing week for it all. Um, just quickly, off yesterday, we had that little gap down. You can see this line here. I've sort of marked it out. It's April's CPI body fill. So if we go back onto, like, go on the higher time frames here, I'll sort of pick this out. It looks better on the daily. You can see this big rocket body here. This is April's CPI for US, of course. And that just absolutely took off. We've sort of come back to it now, and you can see that the market really just sort of clipped it here and almost sort of like, a couple of cents, and they say, yep, that's enough for us, and we're sort of shooting off over here. So, technical price target was what, seven pips down from this, but you know what, that's close enough kind of thing for also close enough, near enough kind of thing for now. I still am looking for this kind of play to sort of come out with DXY, so obviously we're moving back up at the moment now. So then we'll sort of see, eventually we'll get a little bit of a push down here. Could come today, could see something sort of drive back down here, could get a little bit more of a pushback over here. We're going to have to sort of get onto the lower time frames to have a little bit more of a closer look to really sort of determine what we're looking at here. Was trading this through last night. This felt very grindy. If I put it onto like a lower time frame here, we had a little bit of a look. It's not a sort of your sort of picture perfect sort of negative divergence, but we did see this large push up on here, and it was coming in slightly less on the sort of buying pressure, and we can see that sort of this is obviously where we were sort of charting it up until the end here, came up to this point here, and then the next candle, bang, straight back down over here. So look, the market's wanting to sort of try and sort of bring it back down over here, but I think there's still a little bit of squeezing to be done. So we've got to sort of see how they decide to sort of play it out, whether we're sort of going to get another break above this lot over here. I would say if we take out these overnight highs, so this little zone here, this could keep squeezing, and we could sort of see it come back up over to this little zone over here. That would be something. I mean, this is on the 30, so this is a pretty sort of low time frame to make the bigger sort of calls. See if it lines up with an hour. Yeah, I mean, look, same with the thing with our little support here, broke through, retest down here. I think that's a fair call. I mean, you got the 61% of this last drop down here would be sort of an area, to take note of, because as we recall, this big move where it came through all the way up here from this drop, this is NFP lows, came up here, kissed that 61 to the cent and sort of moved down. So obviously they don't mind a little bit of a deep pullback before ratcheting up for the next leg. So I think that's what's to watch with DXY today, sort of like a break above this little zone here. Add alert here. So overnight high's been taken out if we get back over to this lot here. We are seeing a little bit of a push up here. I have to sort of see how these hours are. I mean, this is looking to cross. So with these sort of things, if this sort of continues and holds up and closes near the top of this candle, this is on the 1 hour right now, and so we've got 3 minutes left on the candle. You could see a little bit of a RSI sort of tick back, and it could start to push up over this side here. But as it is at the moment, this is sort of certainly moving up here, but you're not seeing the same pressure with the buying sort of coming through here. So I think certainly up around this zone is what to watch. If we don't see this tick up here, if this keeps sort of trending down, but we get up into this zone, or even if we fail to get this zone, but if we don't see this RSI sort of tick up to the top here, I'm going to call this an early push, and this will be of this move here, which this looks very squeezy. This will be a lower high of this move. So if we look at purely just this section here, ignore the sort of larger things. We're sort of saying, okay, here's its run up here, boom, boom, there's your high, here's your low, here's your second high. Then we'll start to sort of draw this out, and we can start to sort of say, again, this is a bit of false hold here, but this could be your sort of failing squeeze attempt. Let's put this on something in a different color. Boom. this could be your sort of little squeeze test, and you could be looking at sort of something to this kind of effect, and retest back down over these sides over here. Um, we'll have to sort of see. It's only a couple of minutes till this sort of candle, 1 hour candle closes, and as I said, we'll probably get a little bit of volume in at 11 o'clock as well. But for the moment, look, it's looking like it could sort of potentially squeeze a little bit more. This is the zone that I'm looking for, that 104.62. 65, that kind of zone there. See how it reacts from this point if it gets to that. But as I said, I'm still playing the overall, this move here, that we will sort of come up, find some sort of resistance, whether it's here, whether it's here, whether it's up the top over there, find the resistance, wait for a little bit of a consolidation, chuck it onto a 4 hour, pick out the lows, and then once we break the lows on that little 4 hours, then we can sort of go, okay, yep, now we're coming back down. And we really want to sort of see this move coming through here, this leg particularly, because this is going to give us either a high low, it's going to give us a double bottom, or we're going to see a breakthrough. Pretty light on the news, so I would say probably not about to break through without some sort of catalyst. Um, so I think at best at the moment we're probably looking at something like this for a double bottom, but of course, it could just come in with a higher low as well. But still, regardless, I do believe we have this. I don't think this little pullback here was this overall sort of higher time frame sort of pull down move. So yeah, wait to sort of see how this goes. It's closing up above this zone at the moment. We'll see. We'll see how the volume sort of comes into the market in a few moments. All right, and just on the downside there as well, certainly if you can take out these wicks here, that's your confirmation. Like you can see there was a bit of a zone through here and it thought about it and pushed through, but and obviously used it as a back test area, but sort of like, get down under these wicks just to be safe. It's only a couple of extra pips or so from that zone. Move to test the lows. See how that sort of plays out now. But I think those two will give us our direction, whether we're sort of going back up to 104.80 or whether we're coming back down to that 104 handle to sort of test it out. Flip across on gold. Gold sort of, we can see that sort of like, here was the back test of these highs last night. I was actually talking to a mate who's just getting into his trading, and he was calling, well, sent me a message. He's like, oh yeah, look, there's a little head and shoulders playing out here. I was reluctant to take this trade because, overall trend's moving up. So I grabbed some buys down in the 70s. But you can see that this for a move wasn't too bad. We were sort of talking about this is where we were going to put our stops if we were going to take the trades. So that was the stop loss there. It was around this area over here. I think that's on 15 now, but I think it was on a 1 hour thing. So it took a little while to sort of get down here. I wasn't convinced that because of these buybacks here, but this closed down underneath here, back test, boom, and that sort of came down there. So yeah, it wasn't too bad, a little trade in that. But as I said, I was looking for the longs, so I got a bunch of longs. I got a couple stopped out. I got a couple locked in. So yeah, not too bad. But in the short term, we've got this is obviously a high time frame. That was that big breakout from the other week, sort of highs. We came through. It acted as a little bit of a defense a couple of times again, so we can see it playing its part here and also here before it went through. And then as it comes back, that's where the buys are. And this is the same thing, and I say it every day pretty much, that, it's not necessarily going to hold. You could still see this go boom, and you can see it come back down here. At the moment of this move, we do actually have a higher low coming in, and if we actually sort of grab these out of the way so we can see a little bit better, we can see there's a pretty nice little sort of falling resistance that we could call through here. This color stands out a bit. So that's what I'm looking at the moment. I think sort of this is something that we can see there's a little higher low in this area. But back to what I was saying, resistance, 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 breaks through, back test. Took a couple of, this is on the 1 hour, took a couple of hours of sort of stuffing around before it actually got a move back up here, and boom, came back down over here. So this could still melt down and come down over here. It's nothing to sort of say that, this has to hold forever, but you've got the chances, you've got a higher sort of likelihood, that, at least on the first attempt to go through, things don't go through, unless it's sort of like news driven and it doesn't respect the charts and the levels and it just goes and blows through the levels. If it's just normal price action with no extra catalyst behind it, then generally you've got a pretty good idea that you're going to have an entry around those sort of retest levels. And you can almost sort of see this area here, like I've got the zone here for that sort of little ledge, but to a certain degree, this is your lows here. You can see that the buyers were sort of respecting this as the very lows, comes up here and retests it here, and then sells back down. So as I said, it happens time and time again, time frame to time frame, every single instrument. It's just structure. That's all it is at the moment. So look, I think sort of same sort of thing with gold with DXY. We just want to sort of see how this is moving. We're seeing a little bit of buying action coming into DXY at the moment, which is obviously it's not sort of hurting the gold, but it's just at least stopping it for now. So I think if you want to sort of see any sort of movement to the top side, you want to sort of get above this maybe 85 area over here. So let's say this. So above 85 would sort of show, because we can see it sort of came up here. It sort of thought about it, held it, held it, held it, held it. You want to see it get back over and reclaim that. I will just point out as well, this is another thing with the body fills. This was the target. If you look at, I think it was the weekend video, I was saying that sort of 92 was going to be our targets, and that's the weekly body fill as well. So I'll go more into the sort of body fills at some stage, but yeah, that's always a good target to have. You don't worry necessarily so much about the wicks, because obviously the wicks were coming up over here with it all, but the body fill, that's obviously, that was a great target coming from, I think, where were we on the Monday? Monday, so yeah, so Monday sessions we were down around here. I should say the weekend, so pull back, boom, and there, body fills. But yeah, so if we go above there, if we take out this zone here, as I said, look, we've tried to bounce it up, it didn't make it. You do have a technical higher low at the moment, but this move hasn't sort of, continued on. We haven't put the higher high to confirm this move. So it's really just a bit no man's land between 73 and 85. I mean, you've got a $10 thing, you could try and trade the range here. But I think certainly if we move this one to see the actual lows, if we take out this sort of 61%, you can see, look, bounce pretty much right on 61% of that move, up from, where's that one? Actually, boom, there you go, almost to the cent. Bounce off the 61% there. I think if we take out the 61%, so chuck it down here, alert here. So where would this be? So maybe retest the, what was it, the CPI? Yeah, latest CPI. Yeah, CPI data level, which would be, where was it? Probably around here, which is a 78. So maybe around here, maybe a bit lower. I don't know. I'm still reluctant to sort of to try and short this thing. It's more sort of just like if we were going to sort of go back down this level. So if anything lines up through here, we've got a little bit of support coming through here. Might be something to watch here to see if it breaks this. Yeah, I'd definitely say this. So if we take the lows out here, this is a little bit of a, not a proper trend, but certainly, it's trying to hold this sort of move through here. If we take out this 61%, I would say sort of probably down around the body fill over here, actually. Let's get this out of here because this isn't relevant now. It's not relevant. This is probably where I'd be looking, maybe 57, 57 to 50. This kind of zone down here, be looking for sort of like a bit of a buy. If we get down here, if you get a bit of a shot down here. I don't know if I've got anything to say for this, do I? Buys. Oof. Yep. So I think sort of if we get a break of this 68 level, just hold the horses. I think sort of getting down here, 58 to 52, I think could offer a little bit of a re-entry for another attempt to sort of drive it back up over the top side here. But at the moment, it's not doing anything. It's just sideways. You know what I mean? This isn't a confirmed move down here. It's just if we do break this, then that's probably where we're going. All right, Aussie, a little bit of a sell down off the open. We did have some data. What was it? There's the employment data yesterday. So that came out. Unemployment was up. Jobs creation was also up. So it means more jobs added to the thing, but more people unemployed at the same time. So I don't know if that's people taking on second jobs, people taking on part-time jobs, probably a mix of the two. Probably more the sort of part-time jobs than that, but certainly, yeah, like it didn't really have any sort of solid reaction. Well, it didn't have any positive reaction, basically. So we saw a little bit of a sell down and then just a dribble. But more, I would say, this move here was really just more DX, as I said, DXY with its little bounce. Like, it didn't really melt down or do anything too sort of solid or that bad. So again, it's just a little bit nothingness, and it's got no catalyst, no driver at the moment. We saw a little bit of a sell down just this morning. As you can see, just sort of through here. So, it's holding this zone. Look, it's just really tight. You know what I mean? Same sort of thing, fired up off the lows. As soon as DXY had that little bit of a sell down bit last night, I actually caught some longs from 55. I had a target of 80. I also got to 82. I jumped out sort of, I think, sort of mid 70s. But the target was 80 from 55. So I caught this little trade through here, which was pretty good. It wasn't too bad, a little return. But as you can see at the moment, we're setting up just a little sort of, tiny little resistance area here. And if we sort of look on the downside here, I mean, you could say that was a little bit of a range possible back test. This isn't anything I'd be looking to sort of trade. I guess if you sort of take out this low here, as it sort of looks to be flipping right now, you could say that this was your little range here. We've now sort of broken it, back test down here. I think probably wait and sit down around here and sort of see if you could maybe get a double bottom of this pullback move. But certainly at the moment, I think we're seeing a bit of volume and buying coming into DXY now. Sort of see how this sort of plays out. We do have some China data actually out today at 12 o'clock. So 11:30, we've got new home prices, yeah, industrial production and retail sales. I think they're the ones to watch for in terms of data and that for today. That's for China. Both of those are supposed to tick up. Retail sales previous 3.1, ticking up to 3.7 as an expectation. And industrial production 4.5 up to 5.5. So that's also looking to sort of tick up a little bit. If that happens, it'll sort of strengthen China up a little bit. If it strengthens China up, then Aussie will probably get a little bit of a flow on. And again, we're still in a very big bullish mode with Aussie, so I'm not really looking for shorts. I think sort of your short or downside is kind of limited. Um, I'll move that back there. Is kind of limited at the moment. And I think sort of like certainly any sort of major dips in that are just going to sort of be bought up. So one thing, if we sort of zoom back out on Aussie, actually put on this other chart, I think I had it better. So this was our sort of move that we were looking for here. Obviously, we had this big breakout. You've got to respect, that's the thing, and this is why I'm not looking for shorts. You've got to respect the fact that you had this solid breakout. You know what I mean? Like this is something that it hasn't been able to do. I mean, it was coming down negatively, but really in the direction of actually moving up, not since December, where it sort of shot up to 68.50s, and all year it's been held at this zone. We had a big, like, convincing breakout to the top side. Yes, it's a little bit weaker on the bottom side here, but again, this could just be backtest area. I don't think, look, I mean, anything could happen. I don't think we're necessarily just going to go all of a sudden and dribble all the way back down over here. I think more likely, as we sort of marked out over here, and this is what I was saying on the, the videos, the analysis the last couple of days, that, charts like to sort of repeat themselves. This was a massive chop area, buying and selling for I think 12 days or whatever. What did I have it marked out there? What was it? Yeah, so 12 days of buying and selling and chopping within a 50-point range. There's a good chance that we're going to see the same kind of move over here like this. It's not necessarily going to be to the cent, and it's not going to be, to the pip kind of thing, of course, to the cent, but it's not going to be to the pip, and it's not going to be to the 12 days exactly. It's not like it's going to be fully, but the idea is that because it's up and down, up and down, up and down, This one also goes up and down, up and down, up and down. And as you can see, pretty much, I mean, again, price target was around 720. We got to, sorry, 67.20. We got to 67.14, 15. So within 5 points, this is where we thought it was going. We had it marked out, pretty much came up here. The markets have said, yep, look, that's pretty much it for me as well, and they sell it down. There's no sort of like, I mean, it's yes, a couple of points difference with it all, but yeah, it's nothing really too much to worry about. If you take out this wick though, so under 66.55, which isn't too far off. Again, you've got a lot of these sort of high wick areas here, which I reckon could provide a bit of a bounce. This little triangle that was breaking out as well, I think this could also provide a little bit of a buy area if we do get the option. Sort of coming down through here. If you get a buy down into this zone, I think this could potentially be a back test, which then could sort of offer a nice little move back up to the top side over here of a sort of it's around sort of 30s and 40s. That could offer about another sort of 60, 70 point move to try and retest the highs over here. And as you can see over here, it was really choppy all through this zone. So this one down into 41, bang, back up to 33. There's a 90 point bounce on that one there. So we'll have to sort of see how this plays out, see what DXY does. As I said, DXY is getting a little bit of buying now. It's as we were saying, it sort of looks like it's moving up towards that overnight highs. We'll have to sort of see how that plays out. China data, as I said, some sort of low tier news out in 15 minutes, but 45 minutes, 12 o'clock, we should sort of see something a little bit stronger and sort of at least sort of move the Aussie market a little bit. Everything else just seems a little bit subdued at the moment. Next week's pretty light on news as well, so not a lot to sort of shift things around there. Speaking of China, so we do have it sort of bouncing around, doing its thing, absolutely all over the top, complete chop fest. We got that big sort of sell down, as we can see here, and it's tried to sort of do the double bottom. I think on the 4 hour it looks a bit better. They did one of the wick fills all over the place here. That low wick fill, filled it, and then bang, back up the top over here again. So this is the move that I was playing, the sort of up and then back down. We did get a drop down here. At the moment, moving back up, coming into a little bit of a resistance area. I think on the 1 hour shows a little bit better. We are seeing that this, is moving back up the top up here. You could, not for me, but I'm saying you could sort of say that this would be some sort of little head and shoulders, despite this long wick down here, but shoulder, this is pretty much lines up with this one over here. So a solid breakout of the top side here, I think could almost sort of put you back up into the 724s, and this could be your big range that it starts to play through. This one obviously rejecting from this little resistance area here. So I think if you want to sort of see this really move up to the top side here, you want to see it take out these wicks over here. I think till you can like take out these wicks just here. Zone. So you can take out these wicks here, or at least a close up above this area, because you can see it hasn't managed to close above this area. Last night was a good sell down point. We do have the China data soon. DXY is moving right up into its resistance zone now. So where we at, 11:17. This is a volume hour for it all, or volume 20-minute period. So we'll sort of see how this goes moving forward. The RSI is trying to sort of follow suit. But as again, if you don't get a solid close up here, then there's a chance that this then rolls over, gives you a higher high with a lower high on the on the stotch. So, oh, not this one. Get rid of that. So this kind of move through here. Now, neg Ds aren't always, they're kind of like a delayed thing. You got to kind of, well, not delayed. You got to take a little bit of a sort of guess with it. Like it's not going to confirm until it's already like the chart. These indicators aren't going to show you till it's actually happened, kind of thing. So you sort of trade it after the fact. But at the moment, as I said, RSI is ticking back up, so it is looking like it could sort of continue a run up here. We could get a bit of a breakout, move up to these top zones over here. You can see obviously a couple of times. It was supported through here, I think this could potentially be a bit of a resistance area coming through here. If you were to sort of call this a little bit of a measured move, I'll do this one here. Quite a long sort of head on that, actually. I'm not really a big fan of this, actually, to tell you the truth. That puts you way back up at the top over there. Very technical kind of measured move of that. Nah, I'm not super happy with that one. But certainly looking like, yeah, we are going to get a little bit of a push up to the top side here. Maybe if we can sort of get any sort of support through here. It's looking a little triangle-ish there. So yeah, I think this is what I'm watching for here. You get above this level over here. Let's put a little alert on this one here. Just over there. I think if we see a continuation, as I said, you close, this is on the 1 hour, so you still got 40 minutes left on this, so yeah, it could go either way. We could see this push right up over here. It could just come up with a big long wick like these ones did as well. Watch for the close of this hour. You get a close up over the top over here. We're going higher. You get a close back down below this zone. I would say it's just going to fail like these ones have. And then we're kind of looking down to the bottom side, and we'd be looking to sort of get under this little zone here. This is more short term, like, you know, don't generally trade one on the 1 hour just because it's such a slow mover. Yeah, so I think they're the little zones we're looking for at the moment, though. Finally, copper. Copper looks like he's finally starting to run out of a little bit of steam. All these little flare-up bounces and that don't seem to be sort of doing a great deal for it at the moment. I mean, it's been an absolute mammoth run. I mean, let's if we go onto a daily, like just in this move from, you know, this one move from the lows to the highs here, you know, thereabouts. I can't see it exactly, but up around here, 37%. Oof, what an absolute mammoth run it has been. And where did we get? Did we get to the all-time highs there? I mean, it's when you look at it like this and you look left to these highs over here. Oof. That's the highs there. I think we may have actually just flipped across the top of it. No, I can't see here actually. Yeah, we did. Yeah, bang. And that's it. Take out the highs. People go, yep, that's good for me. Close my longs. 37%. I mean, what do you want to do? You know, that was a massive move for it. So, you know, it's no doubt that the people are sort of, you know, banking some profit on this one. Even this last move alone, you know, it was 10% move out to the top. 10%? Actually, no, that's not that one. Yeah, that's 10% from. That's right. Yeah, because we had the two parts there, didn't we? We were working out the sort of confirmation of this one, but a 10% move just from this little triangle break, bang, coming out the top side over here. So look, I mean, it's due for a little bit of a cool off. Took out the price target, took out the highs. Great trade. I would say, yeah, a little bit of cooling through here. I mean, as to how far back it comes, who knows? Let's watch what happens with DXY as well. But you know, I think sort of realistically, it's due for a little bit of a little bit of a pullback without sort of getting too sort of crazy about it. I mean, you can chuck your stops above this wick high. I wouldn't bother. It's too wide to go up over the top here, but you know, you can chuck your stops over here if you want to sort of try and get it back down here. You probably got, you know, 2,000 point move or something down to the bottom side here if you did want to get this. Where are we at now? So from here, I would say there's a good chance you get that move down there. So 3% move to the downside. I wouldn't be surprised if we do get a pullback, particularly if we take out, you know, I'd take out this wick here. We could see a move down here, and then I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see some buying come back into it again. So yeah, nothing to worry about this. This will put a little bit of pressure on Aussie, just as this cools off a little bit. But really, it's been on such a rip, and Aussie's been lagging a little bit because of it. I mean, so not because of it, sorry. It's been lagging a little bit in comparison to how big this move has been, but certainly it's just been on a rip, and I take a little bit of cooling, a little bit of profit taking. That's fine. Let it sort of consolidate, let it swap hands a little bit, and see if we can get some major breakouts when we get DXY sort of cooling down. Just flip back onto DXY quickly and put it back onto that lower time frame that we were trading, and we can see that it has come up and it broke through this area, and now it's up retesting those overnight highs. This makes this obsolete, so we take these ones off, and we sort of see how it sort of goes through here, because if we get onto a lower time frame, what's it doing? 30, bang. Yeah, no, look, it's charging up into it. Yeah, we'll see if this goes. If this pops through here, I expect another little push up to the top side. All right, cool. That's it from me.